It's time for Common Man. Common man, charms the housewives like no one can. What'd you shoot? Where'd we play? Non-stop nonsense on deck today. Tune in, it's time for Common Man.
Why should anybody aspire to be a common man, an average man? Do you realize what it means to be average? That means you're the best of the lousiest, and the lousiest of the best. Now, if we demand more and more for producing less and less, while the have-not nations encourage and inspire and indeed require hard work and maximum effort, if we deify the common men while they encourage and reward the uncommon ones, well, the end result of such a lopsided race as that is too obvious to require elaboration.
Oh my gosh, above average at that.
That is a cold-blooded connection.
I'm confident that we'll be world champions. That's what I've said right from the start, and I'm still confident of that.
You're breaking up, Bob.
You're breaking up.
Yeah, I always love that one.
We can't start winning until we stop losing.
Hello, 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 hello. Okay, hold on.
I've seen enough out of Cousins, Paul. Put him on ice.
I'm going to say something controversial.
That's interesting.
Jet lag disadvantage.
Stand up, Ford Field! Stand up!
What was that after we go?
I'm unlimited, Mr. Unlimited.
The brutal B-R-U-T-A-L.
You say?
Oh, a whole lot of character.
I just want to say, you doubted us, but now we're here.
What do you think of my defense now? Let's play. Let's play. Let's play. Let's play.
Okay, calm down.
He's the clown from Brown. He's the fourth in the north. This is the common man, Dan Cole.
Okay, that would be me. The Grum begins in 5, actually 3, but 5 sounds like more than 4. Greetings, good afternoon, and ack-ack-a-dack, and dack-dack-ack to you and yours. I'm the common man, Dan Cole. He is Tennessee, and this is the worst all-sports radio station in the country. So says a former employee who... Funny, was fired from here. Before he was fired, he loved the place. Then after he was fired, he became bitter, sullen, withdrawn, and proclaimed that it was the worst all-sports radio station in the country because he had listened to them all, apparently. But we're doing pretty good for ourselves. The kids are all right. Though we're really not kids anymore. I mean, I auditioned for this show without any college experience.
Wow.
Not only do I have 4 years of college eligibility remaining, but high school. No high school experience. And I have a gift for gab. I was put on this planet for a reason. Do you believe that? Have you ever heard people say he was born to do this, he was born to do that? Do you believe people are born to do things?
If they were, I'm kind of wondering, like, why God didn't give me one of those gifts.
Wait, hold on.
I mean, why pick others over me? I feel like that's a little unfair.
I wanted to do the Dark Star cough. I could have hit the cough switch, but I wanted to do the Dark Star thing. It's starting to clear up, though. I'm feeling better. It's sort of like, I was going to do a flop, sweat, and tears joke, but it really didn't fit right there, so I'll save it for another time. Because I think people are just full of themselves when they say I was born to do this. You weren't born to, no, you weren't. You were born, you were a little baby, and breastfed, maybe not. And then you learn to crawl, you learn to walk, and then there were things that interested you. And then you said, I kind of like this. Like, for me, it was just, after a series of blue-collar jobs in which there was low pay and no chance for advancement, I decided I wanted it. You know what really sparked it? The first real love of my life. Now I only have my lovely wife, Potato, but a gal who was like a year older than me. We worked together at the Holiday Inn Hotel in Brooklyn Center. I don't think it exists anymore, right off of 100 there, right? And I worked in the housekeeping department. Housekeeping. And I was the only male that worked in the housekeeping department. And my job was, I pushed the laundry cart up and down the hallways. It was a 2-floor place. And I would stop by each maid's cart. And then I would take all of the soiled towels in sheets and put them in the cart. And then I would bring them down to the laundry room. There were 4 gals working in the laundry room. They were all older gals. Now, I'm like 20 years old. And these older, 2021, and these older gals, they're in their 60s, right? Like my age now, 6, 7.
Mm-hmm.
But all the maids were these pretty young maidens all in a row. And I'm exposing my neck to you, Tennessee. Do you see a switch on my neck?
I do not.
I can't turn off the alley cat charm. I can't. I've tried to just be dull and boring, unattractive to women, but it doesn't work. It's my lot in life. It's a hell of a burden to carry, but that's just the way I am. I am what I am, and that's all that I am. And if I'm supposed to be somebody else, why do I look like me? That's Popeye, circa 1922. That might be my new laugh. I love embarrassing my boys when we're on vacation. I'll go, I'm going to come up with a new walk. You know, because people just normally walk, regular, right? So I'll come up with some kind of like, I kind of lurch forward or something like that, or walk side to side.
You look like Bigfoot when you just walk.
Yeah, and I say, that's going to be my new walk. And then I'll start walking like through the airport like that. And of course, as I turn around, they're nowhere to be found. They've distanced themselves from me. But this gal swept me off my feet, right? Familiar with the song by Rod Stewart? I know Warren is. It's a song called Maggie May. Wake up, Maggie, I think I got something to say to you. Or is that Bonnie Tyler? Breaking news.
Yeah.
B-Flow's taking a job as Jordan Addison's mentor.
No, but he may have another opening for head coach.
Let me guess. So there's been a firing today?
Not a firing, a stepping down. After 19 seasons in Pittsburgh, Mike Tomlin has informed the team that he is stepping down as the Steelers head coach.
Do you think... I kind of like my story better, but that's
sorry.
Okay. No, it's okay. You have to do what you have to do. We are the sport. That's why we were the worst all sports radio station in the country, because I wouldn't talk sports at all. I would just dismiss any news like that. Do you think that's one of those? They gave Mike the choice. Hey, Mike, you either say you're stepping down, we let you leave on your own. You can walk. There's the door, or we let you go. You make the choice. You would think with a resume like his, I think he's probably pretty confident who he's been, where he's going, where he's at, that if he got offered that, he'd say, I don't need your pity. I don't need your recommendation. I don't need you to say, well, we just came to a mutual agreement. No, if you want to fire me, let me go. That's what I'd do. I would never, if the company came to me and said, hey, you got your choice. We'll let you walk. We'll say it's mutual. You decided you wanted to find greener pastures. You'd take a long, hard look at yourself, where you've been, where you're going, and where you're at, and you've decided to move on. And we said, hey, we're not going to hold you back. I would just say, no, you cut me loose. Because I didn't collect unemployment, too. What do you think? Do you think he left on his own? Do you think he just got sick and tired of being sick and tired of it? Or do you think it was kind of a mutual decision?
Sometimes you might know
the
door is about to be open for you, so you exit yourself before it's opened by somebody else.
I don't know if I have the numbers correct, Tennessee, but I don't think he's ever had a below 500 record, ever. I do know that he's lost 7 straight playoff games. I did not know that, I guess, until they kept bringing it up last night during the telecast when A-Rod and the Steelers went down in flames to a defense that is so good. And I think part of it is Pittsburgh's offense it's not that good. But I'll give more credit to that Texans defense. Have they won 13 games in a row, or like 11 or 12, 6, 7? I mean, they've won. Didn't they start the season 0-3? And they are now 14-5. That means they've gone 14-2 over the last 16 games. They're doing something right there. And I think it's mostly their defense. The Stroud kid's a nice player. They look like I'd not watched much Texans football this year. Looks like they got a bit of a running game.
10th win in a row.
10th win in a row. Man.
They were 2-4. They were 3-5 at one point.
3-5 at one point. And now they're 14-5?
Yes.
12 in a row?
13-5.
Yeah, 13-5. So, it's he shouldn't have any trouble getting a job anywhere if he wants to coach. Harbaugh did do the interview. Remember when I suggested it's possible he would sit out a year, but he said no, he wants to go right back to it. Has he been hired yet?
No. But nobody's been hired. I think they're all waiting for that first domino to fall.
Yeah, we want Harbaugh. Yeah, once Harbaugh gets... Where was I?
You're telling a story about...
the woman that swept me off my feet. And then one day, she did it. Tell me, have you ever heard this, Tennessee? It's not you, it's me.
I did hear that once, yes.
It's not you, it's
Wish
me.
I would have heard the truth.
Yeah, no, it's me.
She strung me along for a while.
Yeah, and it killed me. It devastated me. I don't really think I was in love. I was more in lust. But anyway.
Yeah, baby.
Then I did take a long, hard look at myself. I said, because, she had one time said, I even thought someday we could get married.
Oh.
She had a child. And not mine. When I met her, she had a 1-year-old. 18 months, I think, maybe. But anyway, I was devastated. But then I took a long, hard look at myself. I said, well, why would you want to get married to... And nothing wrong with being a laundry guy, pushing the cart up and down the halls of the Holiday Inn, but really, I don't got a lot going for a high school dropout, no future, really, Haight-Ashbury Day guy. My idea of a good time was having a couple 13, 14 Miller High Lifes, the champagne, a bottle of beer, and ingesting a whole multicolored galaxy of uppers and downers. What kind of a life is that? What kind of a future is there? So I said, I need to do something. I need to do something fast. And I went to Brown Institute. And the rest is history. Here I am. But I wasn't.
And now you're using the gift that God has given you.
I'm using the gift of being a gadfly, of annoying people. And I'm quite good at it, wouldn't you say?
You're the best at it.
I'm the best. Well, City Pages said so in 1998.
Your first ballot HOF.
Thank you. Appreciate that. They're chiseling out my bust for that Hall of Fame right now. We'll pause. We'll come back, peek at the purple, and there's plenty to get to. Trust me.
There's a lot.
There's a lot to sift through. We'll do that next, other side of the break. It's the Common Man program along with Tennessee here on FM 100.3 The Fan.
Spend an evening with Jeff Foxworthy, known for his signature "You Might Be a Redneck" jokes. Don't miss out when the Grammy-nominated legend takes the stage at Treasure Island Event Center on March 14th. Secure tickets today at TICasino.com for a night of laughs. Also, the Fan wants to give you a shot to win bonus bucks with our national cash contest. Just enter the keyword GOLD at KFAN.com now for a shot at winning. That keyword is GOLD. Enter now at KFAN.com.
Tennessee, what can you tell me about Joe Bonamassa?
Joe Bonamassa.
Joe Bonamassa. That's a couple 13-14 past. I'm Common. Joining us at 2 o'clock or just prior to is Mark Rosa. Doesn't have quite the same.
No.
Energy, does it? Really doesn't.
The Fraud Father.
Fraud Father. Now that's much better. Peek at the Purple brought to you by our friends at Affordable Electric. You know, Minnesota winters tend to be, they don't mess around. And neither do electrical problems. If you have flickering lights, breakers tripping, outlets that stop working, don't wait until it's an emergency. Affordable Electric keeps Twin Cities homes safe, warm, and powered all winter long. Licensed, local, and trusted. Affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. And remember, they are free. Move. Shockingly affordable. This just in. Text messenger wanted to listen. Let me know. Mike Tomlin is out as Steelers coach. I'm glad he informed us of that because that's the way we used to, back in the infancy days, back when I was Coley and I would do sports updates for the Chad Burrow show. We would do, this was before you could just look online on your phone and get any update you wanted, right? I mean, just news constantly breaking. I would read a sports update at the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour with sound bites and everything like a sports center. And I would go, I'm Dan Cole with this sports update on the Fan. And then I would do like a 3-minute sports cast. And then we would always end it, updates the top and bottom of every hour and breaking news as it happens. And then, because I'm a Richard, I would always throw in breaking sports updates in the top and bottom of every hour. Updates, a breaking news when it happens or when someone calls us and says, hey, you idiots, didn't you hear? And then that's what I would do. But, yeah, he is out. So Jordan Addison, this is his third run-in with the law, right? When he first was with the club, he was doing, he was running down the road trying to loosen his load. He was doing $140 because his dog was dying. And he got pulled.
Is the dog okay, by the way? We never got any follow-up on that.
I don't even know if he really had a dog. The next time was, did he like fall asleep behind the wheel in the middle of an intersection in Los Angeles or something? Wasn't that the story?
I think so, yes.
It was another traffic incident of some sort, and the team was very patient with him on both occasions, and they thought he'd really matured. And now the latest is last night. And again, this is all, alleged. This is so fresh. I don't have any details. I don't think Tennessee has any details. I don't know if anybody really has any details. But basically, the story is as follows. Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Jordan Addison arrested by Seminole police on trespassing charge in Hillsborough County, Florida. That's according to court records obtained by Heavy.com. Heavy.com. What's Heavy.com? Some sports aggregate site?
I think so.
But I think they're, I don't think it's made up. I don't think they're saying, I think this actually did happen because I think the Vikings even addressed it. We're aware of the situation. We have no further comments.
His attorneys have responded as well. Let me try to find that for you.
Is it a trespassing charge at a casino or something? Is that what it is? Does it involve a casino of some sort? That's what I thought I saw. But I'm not paying as close attention to Jordan Addison's run-ins with the law as I once did. So I don't know if that's what the case was.
Yeah, so a tweet from Younger and Associates.
Younger and Associates getting to the bottom of it all.
On Jordan's behalf, his legal team has already initiated the investigation, identified witnesses, and we are reviewing the viability of a claim for false arrest. He looks forward to the legal process, and upon full investigation, we are confident Mr. Addison will be exonerated.
Of course. Or maybe he will be. I don't know. That's why I don't like jumping to conclusions. Is he due an extension this upcoming year? When is this? Because
I think this is the year you had to make the, what do you call that? When you're first round draft pick and the option.
Option.
The 5th year option. I think this would be the year to do it. He's been in the league 3 years, correct?
I believe that's exactly right. I asked you, what can you tell us about Joe Bonamassa? What can you tell us about Jordan? More breaking news? Now what?
Breaking news, Coy Parrish has committed to Oregon. He was the number 8 player in the NCAA transfer portal. CBS first to report.
I thought we knew that already.
They went to Oregon?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was from, looks like it was overnight. I apologize.
Yeah.
I just saw it show up now.
Breaking news as it happens, and breaking news when we just finally figured out
from a half a day ago.
From a half a day ago.
My fault.
It's okay. It just proves you're human. I don't think you've ever made a mistake before. I guess until we know exactly what has happened, it's hard to say just cut him, but just from a take away the off the field issues, do we like him as a wide receiver? I mean, like a lot, pretty much, don't like him. Like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being he's right next to Justin Jefferson to 1 being he's more like Troy Williamson. What number would you attach to him?
He had a bad year.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
I mean, it doesn't help with the quarterback play, but he also, when the ball was thrown his way, how many drops did he have this season? If you recall, during training camp, and I know you weren't at the joint practices, but Rose and I were there, and it looked like him and McCarthy had just tons of chemistry. It looked like he was ready to explode as a number 1 wide receiver in the league. And I know he sat out the first 3 games because of the suspension, but I know it's not all on him, but pretty disappointing season out of him. So if you would have told me back in August, if you would have asked me, I said, he's probably like an 8. I don't know if I can call him an 8 anymore.
Couple of things. This one says, Heavy.com is known for BS stories. But we do know that we have quotes from the Vikings and from his legal team, so I don't think it's going to be a story, right? I mean, I don't think. This one says, Common eating his lunch while live on air is super disrespectful. No, it's not. I should be appraised for it. I'm taking a working lunch. My guess is the text messenger gets a half hour, 45 minutes to an hour for lunch. I don't. My show's during the noon hour. It's not disrespectful. I should be admired for it. And this one says, Common, what's for lunch today? Well, I'm glad Matt Mankato asked. I had some roasted sweet potatoes, 4 ounces. I had 4 ounces of broccoli and cauliflower. And then I had I bet it was about a 6, 7 ounce hamburger, no cheese, no bun. And I feel good about it. So I'm very, very happy. So I don't know what to make of Addison. I don't know if he's worth keeping or not. And the off-field stuff is, he missed the first 3 games of the season. That didn't help. And did he not show up for a practice in Europe, too?
Yeah, he did get benched, didn't he? Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. Takes some guys longer to mature than others, but really, it's the old, JJ apparently has said he doesn't mind trying to help McCarthy along with his growth in the league. Maybe he should spend some time with Addison. Because that's the guy that's not doing very well.
I always fear when you can't be on your best behavior when you have a chance to make a big contract, when are you going to be on your best behavior?
Yeah, well, that's exactly right.
That's concerning to me.
Yeah, that is. And then you sent me another, was it Kwesi from earlier today? A soundbite when they asked him about is McCarthy going to be the starting guy in 26? Let's say, to put it mildly, he didn't commit to that. You can dig that soundbite.
Yeah, I can get that.
Right? Well, let's do that other side of the break. We'll continue with Peak of the Purple, brought to you by Affordable Electric. For all of your electrical needs, affordable-electric.com. Affordable-electric.com. Remember, they are shockingly affordable. We'll pause. We'll come back after this here on The Fan.
Remember that teacher who made a difference? Sure now is your chance to say thanks. iHeartRadio's Thank a Teacher, powered by Donors Choose. Nominated Outstanding Public School Teacher to win $5,000 for classroom supplies. This week's winner is Janelle Shermers, who teaches at Rogers Elementary STEM Magnet School and always goes above and beyond for her students. Enter now at iHeartRadio.com/teachers.
Double 1314 past Common Man program. I'm Comedy's 10 to be, the legendary Mark Rose, and waiting in the wings. We had another text message come in on the Bradshaw and Bryant KFAN text line. You know, there's a lot of discussions. Where will Tomlin go? Where will Harbaugh go? What about McCarthy? What about Kwesi? What about Addison? But most people are more intrigued about my lunchtime. This one says, it's disgusting to listen to you eat. Can't you do it on breaks? And I responded. I said, we try. Sometimes it doesn't work. Guys are laying it on the line. They're in the dining room. They're in the dining room. They're laying it on the line. Sometimes it doesn't work. I get caught off guard. Come back too quick from break. Food is warm. I'm not going to let it get cold and have to microwave it again and take all day to eat. It's not that. I mean.
By the way,
yes.
Tomlin being gone, you know what that means? Aaron Rodgers might be available.
Oh my gosh.
Above average at that.
Before we get to Kwesi and his soundbite, Aaron, I made no bones about it. I was pulling for him. I sort of kind of softened my stance on him, but he again proved again last night what a Richard he is. And I mean, again, I understand it, but you could read it. Did you watch any of the game?
No, I watched the Wild game.
What's wrong with your Wild?
Yeah.
So the left tackle or left guard just gets bulldozed, right? He gets tea-kettled. What do the kids call it now? Is there a different phrase that the youngsters use?
Trucked?
Trucked.
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what it is. Trucked. He got trucked. And you could read Rodgers gets up with the most disgusted look on his face. And they're doing the slow motion as they go to break. You know how they always show the guy in slow motion? And you see Rodgers look at the guy and goes, do your bleeping job.
I always love that one.
In other words, block. And I get it. You know, stakes are high and so am I. It's in the air tonight. It's a free-for-all. But the guy's trying. Do you think unless he's taking a dive because he bet a bunch of money on Houston, he's trying. What do you think? He's not trying to do his job? It doesn't help. And then you know what else he did? And again, he was careful not to do remember when he threw to the Christian Watson character on his first game ever and he dropped the ball?
Yep.
He just gave that, rolled his eyes, gave that disgusted look, like almost as if he was listening to somebody on the radio eat lunch. And then he didn't throw the ball again to him until midway through the fourth quarter. DJ was wide open on the side. And as much trouble as they were having moving the ball, that would have been a huge play for them. They had so much trouble. And, I mean, how many total yards did Pittsburgh have last night? I don't think they broke 200 total, passing and rushing. And it was earlier in the game, I think it was first half, and he dropped it. And remember, he'd been suspended 2 games. Now, again, his suspension was, he claims, somebody was using some racial language at the Detroit game, right, in the stands. But they noted in the broadcast, because I didn't really notice, Rodgers didn't throw to him then for 2 quarters. Never went back to him. Finally did when I think he figured, well, I got to let bygones be bygones now because the game is on the line. The season's almost over. It doesn't matter if I'm mad at the guy and I'm not going to throw it to him to show him how annoyed I am. I got to get it to him. But he wouldn't go back to, that's his best receiver, right? Throw in and throw out is DK Metcalf.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah, so then what are you doing, being petty in your, is it called pestilence? No. Pestilence is like biblical when you're like disease, wars, brutalities. Petulance is what I'm thinking of. Could you look up the word pestilence? Pestilence. Have you ever heard the word before? Pestilence. Not petulance, but pestilence. I think it's a word. I may have just made it up.
Pestilence.
Pestilence.
A deadly or virulent epidemic disease?
Yeah.
Bubonic plague?
Yes.
Something that is considered harmful, destructive, or evil?
That would be Aaron Rodgers. Everything's better with bubonic on it. And so, pestilence. And you can't treat him like that. So Rodgers is his own worst enemy. But, and again, he would not commit last night. And I guess I don't blame him, unless he really had, no matter what, come heck or high water, had made his decision. But even if he had, then Aaron's out of the headlines right away, right? Other than the next few days, they'd go, Aaron Rodgers retires. First ballot Hall of Famer. What's his legacy? Now it's going to be, is he staying or is he going? He can milk it for so long.
It's going to be all offseason again.
Correct. It's going to be a whole offseason of milking whether he's going to play or not, because he loves the attention.
And where he's going to play.
Huh?
And then where he's going to play.
And you had mentioned, with Tomlin gone, he'll be available. Would he be, let's say he decides he does want to play, whoever the new guy at Pittsburgh is, don't you want to kind of start from scratch rather than go with aging 42-year-old veteran guy?
Yeah.
I think you do. And would the Vikings revisit it? Even though I don't know if they visited it, we do know that it's been confirmed by O'Connell himself. He had a discussion with Aaron before the season started, and I think it was more of a professional courtesy and a friendship, because he says he's bonded with him before. They text and talk more than most people know. And he said, they talked and they decided to go in different directions because they wanted to go with McCarthy. They didn't want to go with, and I still don't know for sure why, if they did not think, if you remember in the Seaford piece, I think it was the Seaford piece, there was the discussions that there was discussions in the building. Some didn't think he had enough left to take him to a big game. And that may have been O'Connell, or it could have been Kwesi. It could have been a combination, or the Wolves, or who knows. Didn't think he could get him any deeper than that. And I guess it was also insinuated in that piece that there were people in the building that didn't think Darnold could do it either, because of what they saw happen against Detroit and then against the Rams. And it's like, well, okay. So if there were people in the building that didn't think Rodgers could do it before, is there any reason to believe he could now, unless you liked what you saw this year? Rodgers played pretty well, I guess. I mean, for aging guy. I mean, certainly not the Rodgers of old, but he also didn't have a lot of the weapons and a lot. I mean, back in the day when he had, was a guy's name Bakhtiari? What Bakhtiari? Wasn't he considered one of the best left tackles in pro football? Yeah. And when you got a guy like that protecting your left side, it allows you to do a lot of different things and really show your skills. So
I think Rodgers is coming here.
Really?
I do. Just with the Spidey sense you take?
Yeah. It's Peter Parker spider sense. I call it gadfly sense.
Well, one, I know you're going to get to the Kwesi soundbite soon. Listening to KOC and Kwesi's talk today, I'm not sure they have that 100% endorsement of J.J. McCarthy.
Right.
I think Rodgers probably will be the best quarterback available out of all the top guys. I think the general manager is going to be on the hot seat going into next season, so they got to win, and they got to win now. And even if Rodgers were to milk it and wait until April or May before making a decision, the Vikings would then still be the most likely destination, because the other teams that need a quarterback are going to go get their quarterback on day one, day two of free agency, whereas the Vikings technically could still sit on J.J. McCarthy for a little while. So.
Well,
I think he's coming here.
Did KOC speak then today too?
He did.
So do we have an isolated soundbite from him on?
I'd have to find that,
because I know you have the Kwesi one.
Yeah.
And this is what Kwesi said when he was asked point blank about going into 2026 as McCarthy is the starting quarterback, right?
Yep.
Here's what he said.
Do you want JJ to be the starter in 2026?
I don't know that's. I want the Vikings to achieve our goals, and I think one of those goals is to make playoff runs and do different things like that. I think he's the character and ability to be the person to do that for our organization. If I say that in 2026, that kind of binds us into a certain, area. The way we've set this team up, we built this core to really, like we've always talked about, give ourselves multiple shots at it, because you never know when there's going to be a year where the field's a little bit wide open and you can make that run, and so that's what we're really focused on. Talking about whether it's this year or next year isn't really, my immediate reflection. It's my job to really bring that deep competitive room that we've talked about to the Vikings.
The kids call that word salad, right? The head coach is good at that too. A lot of words.
It is word salad, but he did say something
Right, no, he
within
did.
there,
Yeah, so,
which
I mean,
he
did.
typically doesn't.
Yeah, well, he could have said, what he should have said was, we'd like him to be, but you saw, why don't they just be more honest and say, we'd like him, sure, that's why we drafted him. We'd like him to be the starting quarterback in 2026 and go on to have a great career. But you watched, didn't you? Kids struggled hard to stay healthy. We got a lot of things to think about here. We're going to keep all of our options open. But yeah, we'd like, because isn't that really the truth? Wouldn't they like him to be the guy? Unless they, but by not saying that, that almost, I mean, it's hard not to feel like that means they have no faith in him at all, right? Otherwise, wouldn't you say that?
Here's the KOC soundbite, by the way, and this is, it's KOC, it's a little more lengthier.
Yeah.
How do you view the quarterback room as a whole, where it stands now relative to where you think it needs to be week one in the fall?
Yeah, I think, when I think about it, I think it's about, having the most talented and deep quarterback room you can. I think you've got to, I think we've played 8 guys, over the course of 4 years now at different times, different moments in the season, and the schedule comes whether it's the exact team, and we learned that across our whole team with whether it was the offensive line or some of the other injuries we had to deal with. Like depth, matters across your team, and then ultimately, I think in the quarterback room, it's about having just the deepest talented room you possibly can each and every year. What that looks like at a pretty impactful position on your salary cap, when you're able to possibly plan for your depth chart looking in a way where you could be competitive no matter what. And, I thought JJ, I was really encouraged by the type of football he started to play towards the second half of the season, and finishing the way he did. Really felt like he took we spent a lot of time talking about like what the layers of change really were. And I think we all just tried to, have a mindset on completions and how we could generate them. We started to see a little bit of that show up. We saw some explosive show up. We saw the ability to kind of balance that with what I thought, at many points this year, our run game was, productive enough for us to move the football and stay in a lot of games, whether it was time of possession, ball control, those things. But we're still looking at a quarterback who's started 10 games, 10 out of a possible 34 in 2 years. Not the ideal path for a young quarterback to develop on the field, but I thought he did. I thought he did some really good things. And J.J. McCarthy is a guy that wants to be great. I know he's going to work tirelessly to do that. I know his teammates have a lot of confidence in what he's going to go to work to improve on this offseason and come back and have a great offseason and be ready to hit the ground running in 2026. But, I think a deep and talented quarterback room will only enhance his ability to do that, and look forward to being a part of that process.
Yeah, to me, that sounds like, they're going to give him every chance to win it again. Sounds like to me, don't you interpret it that way? I mean, unless something falls into their lap, I think what he's saying is they want a good, strong backup quarterback, a good veteran. They want to have as much talent in that room, but I still think McCarthy's the guy they want. And I think it's hard to attract a really talented guy unless you're giving him the job or giving him a real opportunity to win it, which is part of the reason Danny Dimes didn't want to come here, right? Or he was here, didn't want to stay, because everybody assumes the reason he didn't was because he thought he had a better chance to to compete against Richardson and win the starting job here, more so than McCarthy. And I don't think that's because he thought McCarthy was necessarily a better quarterback. I don't know. I didn't ask him if he's a better quarterback than Richardson. But just my guess is he got the feel that they drafted McCarthy 10. They want him to be the guy, so we're going to give him every chance. And if it doesn't work, then you can have it, but you're not going to really get a chance to compete. That's what I think. How do you read it?
I don't read it as a full-on ringing endorsement.
Yeah.
And it's not like I said, hey, we believe in J.J. McCarthy. He's going to be our guy next year. I didn't really hear that. I especially didn't hear that out of Kwesi. KOC is more of the word salad and went on a 2-minute rant about stuff that was meaningless to try to deflect. But he did keep talking about wanting a deep quarterback room. So whether that means backup, whether that means competition, whether that means replacement, I don't know, but I wouldn't feel supremely confident if I was J.J. McCarthy after hearing what those two have said today.
Leon Musk guy says if Kwesi comes out and says we would like McCarthy to be the guy, it might forever damage JJ's mentality and leaves him curled up in the fetal position indefinitely. Leon Musk guy is also the guy that asked PA that he said I was becoming common man, which is really frightening to me. I don't know what he meant by that. I asked him and he wouldn't respond. He sent that text when he didn't think I was paying attention. I see how it goes, Leon Musk guy. You've turned on common. I don't believe that. Too bad for JJ's mentality. This is the National Football League. Guys are laying it on the line. They're in the training room. Careers, legacies, jobs. They can't worry. Oh, well, we said we want him to be the guy, but we didn't say he is the guy, and that might hurt his feelings and might shock. Too bad then. Go win the job. You can't say anything else. And I don't think McCarthy's that kind of guy. He does. I mean, any guy that calls himself 9 in his alter ego, I don't think lacks for confidence. It could be misguided. He might end up never being any good. He might end up getting cut middle of the year. He might never see the field again. But he doesn't lack for any confidence, and I can't worry about him and his feelings.
He might be overconfident. That's the problem.
That might be it. Yeah, he might even be overconfident.
Doesn't have the self-awareness.
Yeah, so I just don't. I just don't care. I can't worry about his feelings. It was the same thing when Atlanta signed Cousins, and then they went and drafted Penix, and people said, "Whoa, you're going to make, boy, you kind of double-crossed Cousins and make him feel like he's not wanted or something." I was like, I can't worry about that, man. I've got to cover my bases. I know Cousins can't play forever. It's like when they drafted Love over Jordan. I got another quote that I want to get to.
Cousins might be available again this year, by the way. This offseason.
Yeah, I know that.
We want to go down that road.
The guy that runs the Green Bay Packers, is his name Policy? Carmen Policy was the longtime San Francisco 49er.
Ed Policy?
Yeah. Isn't that who he's with? Oh, I wanted to ask you, while I look for this quote, Dean Evison fired from the Blue Jackets. Your thought? He was the Wild coach. He got fired from the Wild, and Hines took over, and now he's been fired by Dean Evison, or by the Blue Jackets. What are your thoughts on that, Tim?
I think that Dean Evison's a fine coach. He's an okay coach who was coaching a not very talented team. So it was just a matter of time. They're currently dead last in the Eastern Conference. And this is the way the NHL goes. You go 2-3 years, and if you're not producing, you're going to get... Now, I don't know if Dean Evison's going to be a big enough name anymore to be recycled again and have another shot elsewhere, just because...
That's what I was thinking.
No playoff success in either location. So it might be the end of the road of him as a head coach. I still think he can easily get an assistant job somewhere.
Yeah.
Bring him back here, Billy G.
Billy G. I'm going to find this quote, mostly because it just kind of backs up what I've said all along about what a general manager's responsibility is to the football team. Let's take a break, come back when we do the legendary one. Mark Rosen will join us. We'll get his thoughts on a little of this, that, lat, right here on the Common Man program on the Fan.